I'm a 34-year-old woman named Callie, and I married my husband Nolan, who's 36, just under a year ago. We'd been together for 3 years before tying the knot, long enough to know what we were getting into, or so I thought. Nolan is one of the calmest, most level-headed people I've ever met. He teaches high school history and has this steady, grounded presence that drew me to him from the start. I run a boutique flower shop downtown, and life with him always felt peaceful, easy in the best way. But that peace never extended to his mother. From the very beginning, Nolan's mother Diane kept me at arm's length. She wasn't rude in the traditional way, no yelling, no insults, but every interaction with her felt like walking barefoot over glass. Smiles that didn't reach her eyes, jokes that cut a little too deep, compliments with a faint sting behind them. If I wore a new dress, she'd say, "That color is brave on you." When I brought over handmade arrangements for her dinner parties, she'd smile and say, "Oh, that's different." Very modern. Still, I tried to keep things polite. She was Nolan's mother, and I wasn't looking to start unnecessary drama. Diane, on the other hand, seemed to specialize in it. The wedding should have been our clean slate, the fresh start. Nolan and I planned every detail together. It was intimate, simple, romantic, nothing over the top. We even included Diane in a few of the planning sessions, hoping she'd feel involved. At the reception, she gave a toast. And right there, in front of our closest friends and family, she spent 5 minutes reminiscing about Nolan's ex-girlfriend, talking about how warm she had been, how she used to bring her baked goods, how she just lit up a room. There was an audible silence when she wrapped it up with, "But I guess we all move on eventually, don't we?" Nolan pulled her aside that night and told her she crossed a line. The next day, she called me to apologize. She said she was sorry I felt hurt, but that it was just a sweet memory, and maybe I was a bit too sensitive about things. After the wedding, Nolan and I bought a small 2-bedroom house in a quiet neighborhood. Nothing fancy, just something we could grow into. Diane stopped by the day we moved in, uninvited, and walked from room to room, making small noises of disapproval. She called the paint in the living room muddy, said our light fixtures were so urban, and paused for a long time in the kitchen before saying, "I guess if you like this kind of look." She told Nolan later that night that it felt like she was losing him, that she was being shut out, that he didn't need her anymore now that he had someone else taking care of things. The guilt trips became routine. Late-night calls, voice messages where she sniffled and sighed and said she just needed to hear his voice. And when Nolan didn't answer immediately, she'd follow up with passive-aggressive texts, like, "I guess I'm not important anymore." It didn't stop there. She started pressuring me to convert to her denomination, even though I'd made it clear I wasn't religious. At every family dinner, she'd find a way to bring it up, subtly at first, then more boldly. Once she even handed me a pamphlet with a handwritten note inside that said, "It would mean so much to the family." That same holiday season, I offered to host Christmas at our house. Diane threw a tantrum. Not the screaming kind, but a cold, rigid silence followed by a calm but icy monologue about how it's been a family tradition for decades to celebrate at her home. She claimed I was breaking the chain of family unity. She gave Nolan a $300 jacket that year. I got a clearance mug with "Live, Laugh, Love" in peeling gold letters. I recognized it from a local discount store because I'd seen a whole shelf of them on sale for $2. The same thing happened the year after. Same mug, same design, same wrapping paper. I started noticing something strange, too. She'd throw these big garden parties and charity fundraisers. Nolan would get a formal invitation, nice card, printed address label. I never got one. When I asked about it, she said, "Oh no, I definitely invited you. I must have sent it to the wrong address." It kept happening, every time. A woman named Teresa,